So, y'all, we've been talking about healing this month, and I believe, again, there's this call forth. Everything I see on TV or every time I hear an ambulance or something that's going past me, my teaching has taught me to drop into prayer. So we can get caught up in the cycle that takes us down into CNN. You know what CNN stands for? Constantly negative news. And we can drop right into the lower vibration of it, or we can hold the high consciousness. And I'm not saying it's easy, because it's not. But what I'm seeing here, this is an outpicturing of what's been going on in all of us for a long time. This outpicturing now is showing us what is called forth to heal. So in healing, there are many types of healing. And there are many areas in our life. We have the life structures in life that we can call forth healing in relationships, finances, the body temple, working with the ego, in community, in relationships. So there are many areas that we can ask for healing, but I want us to take us deeper, like I talked about last week. There is this idea of spiritual healing. And what is spiritual healing? Spiritual healing is not denying a condition, because I know I've come from I want to say, a history of people who would deny that they were having anything and they wouldn't take the medicine. And I have people in my family that say, no, I don't take aspirins because I got Jesus. Tangerine, you know. Let me tell you something. I got Jesus, I got Buddha, I got Christian, I got them all. But if I got a headache, I'm gonna take the medicine because God too is in the medicine. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna live into the condition, because that's what I don't do. I think I've shared this, and I'm gonna share this openly because it's part of my book, it's part of my life, and it's part of all the things that I've gone through, and I've spoken this freely. So if this is the first time you've heard this, blessings. I'm going to share this because I've been HIV positive since the early 90s. Now, I don't say that for a all or no, because I don't live in the condition. I live above the condition because I am thriving. For me, I am in a spiritual healing because I get to remember my wholeness. I get to remember that I am one in spirit, that there's nothing that can touch me unless I allow it to touch me. And this is the work that I believe that we get to do, especially when we're talking about healing from the mind, healing the body from the mind. So we don't deny the condition. We rise above the condition. We recognize that our body is here to support our spirit. So we're spiritual beings first. I've seen people who have been fully, completely healthy, and yet they're living very sick lives. And I've seen people who've had the diagnosis of cancer, stage 4, that have flipped their life around, and they've had a miraculous healing. But it just wasn't about what they were eating, it was about what they were thinking. It was about releasing those old stories, because we have a lot of old stories that we keep telling ourselves. It's about our consciousness. And I want to say this: consciousness simply means awareness. Are you aware that you're one in God? Are you aware that you are the divine emanation of light, of love, of joy, of peace, of oneness, of prosperity, infinite possibilities? When you become aware, you become unstoppable for your healing. Consciousness simply means awareness. Consciousness is knowing that spirit is who you are. You are spirit. So the healing is not about fixing anything that's broken, because nobody's broken in here. Nobody's broken in here. Everyone's complete and whole from the start to the end. There's nothing wrong with you. When people sit down and they come to me for practitioner sessions, and they sit down, they give me their issues. And they sit down, they give me their problems. I'm not hearing their issues or their problems. I'm holding a consciousness as they're sharing with me. Well, this person's the divine emanation of God. This person is healing in the flesh. This person is a divine presence. That's what I'm saying. I'm not denying the condition that they're going through, but I'm holding a higher consciousness. And when we're talking about shifting our consciousness, we got to get down to the get down. It's our belief. Yeshua ben Joseph said, "It is done as you believe. Knock and the door shall be open. Seek and ye shall find." And I go back to this because you understand this. This is the foundation of what Ernest Holmes been teaching us forever. It comes from Yeshua, also known as Jesus. Knock and the door shall be open. What door are you knocking on today? Are you knocking on your lack of limitation? You're knocking on your sickness, on the things that are holding you back? Or are you knocking on the door of prosperity, of wholeness, of love? You know, there was this story, I love this story, where this man was by this pool, this healing pool, for many, many years. I think it's like 40, 50 years. Sitting by the pool, and people were going to the pool to bathe, to get healed and jump in there. And one day, Yeshua came by the pool, and the man was sitting right there, and the man said to Yeshua, "Yo, brother man," because that's how I would say to Yeshua, "Yo, brother man, help me in the pool." Yeshua said, "Well, get up and get yourself into the pool." And he goes, "Well, I tried, and every time I tried, someone's pushed me out of the way." Excuses, right? Yeshua says, "Hold up. From this day forth, you are healed, so pick up your mat and get to walking." Guess what he did? He picked up his mat and got to running. He ran. He didn't even go in the pool. This is the real incredible thing. He wanted to get in the pool. See, this is what we see. We want to get into what we think our healing is, but when we realize that we are healed, we're on another track. That's how healing really is. Pick up your mat and get to stepping. Wow. So here's the things that I love in our beliefs. You know what beliefs are? Simply the stories that we keep telling ourselves over and over again, and we believe them. So in these stories that we keep telling ourselves, maybe this might ring true to you when it comes to your body. What stories you telling yourself? How about this one? I love this one. It runs in my family. I even heard that it shifted at one point. I heard someone tell me, a client says, "It doesn't just run in my family, it gallops in my family." So do you understand the power of your words? You spoke that into the law, and now it's going to be a demonstration of what you believe. It runs in your family? Really? Cancer runs in your family? Let's shift that language. My body always betrays me. See, we get to a certain age, and I'm part of the mature audiences. I'm going to tell you straight up, I have those ideas and those things that drop into my body's betraying me. After 30 years of a fitness professional, being on magazines, being on TV shows, being in really one of the leaders in fitness, traveling around the world, being, you know, in a lot of different places where, you know, fitness was it. And now I'm dealing with back issues, challenges for prayer, and sometimes that thought comes in, look at you, your body's betraying you. And I say, ego, get behind me, not today. You will not have your way with me today. So I get to shift these old thoughts. How about this one? I am broken. I am tired. I'm sick and tired. How many times have you walked through a door after the 405? I'm sick and tired of 405. And universe says, yes, you are. You're sick and tired. So we speak these words into the law, and it becomes a demonstration. I will never fully recover. Some people let our diagnosis become also the prognosis. See, the prognosis is from spirit. You can go beyond the diagnosis and have a whole different prognosis. This is just how I am. I just have bad backs. I just have a bad knee. Oh, this is how it is. I'm too old. And we got to release that old thinking, those old statements. Words like bad, weak, all that is a low vibrational energy that we get to step beyond that. We're going to heal that tonight. So let's just take a deep breath in. And close your eyes, and as we're going into our first meditation, we have 2 meditations tonight. I want you to remember this. Your subconscious reacts to only a yes. And this stories that we've been dive into over and over again, it creates a groove in our subconscious. And our subconscious does not argue with us. Our subconscious will operate from our stories. Let's shift and have a different story. So I invite you just to begin to take a deep breath in. Big exhale. And if you're at home, I invite you to close your eyes as well and just listen. And as you take a nice deep breath in, once again, take a deep breath in. Big exhale. Allow your shoulders and your body just to relax. Relax your jaw. Relax any tension that you might be holding into your body temple. And give yourself permission to be here, be now. Give yourself permission to heal. I invite you to bring into your consciousness, is there any story that you keep telling yourself? This is not a story for you to judge yourself. This is not a story for you to shame yourself. This is the time of realization. It's a time to recognize these limiting beliefs. I've always had this. It runs in my family. It's just the way it is. Recognizing this story that we speak into the law becomes what we demonstrate. Maybe your language is bad knee or a bad back, and again, we do not deny this condition. We recognize it as an invitation for prayer, an invitation to remember wholeness. I invite us all to just take one deep breath in through the nostrils. Inhale. Exhale. And in your mind's eye, your consciousness, your awareness, I want you to bring that story into your heart chakra. It is in the middle of your chest. And this heart chakra is the wheel of energy. And as we place this story in the middle of the heart chakra, I want you to see a color green. And the story is beginning to be consumed by this heart chakra, which is compassion, love, oneness, unity. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. And as we see this wheel beginning to turn, this vibration, this energy beginning to cover this story that you keep telling yourself, we get to make a conscious decision to let it go. We recognize that the story is no longer part of the vision of healing, the vision of wholeness. It is a story that we could just continue to tell ourselves over and over again. It's a time that we are willing to release and let go of it. And as we breathe in through the nostrils, we breathe in. And as we exhale, I want you to see this energy. This is covering this story. And every time we breathe in, see it getting brighter in the green color. And as you exhale, see the story beginning to dissipate. Inhale. Exhale, release. Bring your right hand to your heart. Left hand on top of the right hand. And in your mind's eye, in your consciousness, just repeat after me. This story no longer has power over me. This story no longer has power over me. I release the story. I embrace the glory. I release the story. I embrace the glory. My life is free to heal. My life is free to heal. Take a deep breath in again. Exhale. Slowly bring your awareness back into the room that you're in. Slowly open up your eyes. Sometimes we have to release that story over and over again. Sometimes my story, or not my story, I'm going to stop owning my story because it's not my story. It's just something that I keep telling myself. But there are days that I walk releasing the story over and over again. What's your go-to? And we all have if you don't have one, I'm going to ask you to find one. When you find yourself in something I've been teaching for years, it's called the shift. It's called the recognize and shift. Recognize where you are and shift to where you want to be. So, for instance, if I say I'm driving in a car, I'm saying, "Oh, my back, my bad back." I go, "Hold it." That's not my consciousness. My consciousness is I am whole and complete, including my back. So you have to get your own language. Find something that you can catch yourself and move to where you want to be. And then when you catch yourself, don't shame yourself for being there. I remember through the pandemic, I had a lot of minister and other practitioner teachers coming together, and we were talking about how we would begin to shame ourselves because we feel like we should be in a different space because we're practitioners and ministers. So if you know we're doing it, I know y'all might be doing it as well. There's no place for shame or blame in the healing practice. If you're going through something, you're going through it, and remember something is seeking to emerge. So if you don't know Dr. Joe Dispenza, I had a chance to meet him twice. In fact, we used to have a convention at Agape, and I was on the wasn't usher. I'm thinking of another word. I was escort. I was in an escort team where we would escort our speakers to make sure they got to the different stages they need to be in to make sure they were taken care of. I did this for years at the Revelations Convention. So twice I got to hang out with Joe Dispenza, incredible teacher. Joe Dispenza, here's a book I want you to get. You Are the Placebo. It will change your life. Making your mind matter. That's what Joe talks about. Another one, Secret Language of the Heart. Also, if you go to Joe Dispenza's website, he gives daily meditation on healing. This is what Joe says, coming from his book. He says, "You are not condemned by your genes. You are conditioned by your beliefs." So once we recognize how conditioned we are, then we're able to change it. If you don't know Joe's story, this is very, very bullet points. I think it's very, very important to recognize. Joe Dispenza was an avid athlete. He was on a great bicyclist. I mean, I think he was almost professional level. And one day he was out riding, and he gets struck by a truck. And every bone in his vertebrae, which the vertebra actually creates the vertebrae, was crushed, was broken. And the doctors recommended metal rods. And Joe went, nope, not here, not now. And the doctor's like, what are you going to do? Because you're not going to walk again. He says, watch. So he went into an intentional healing. He was rehearsing, seeing himself walking out of the hospital. He was seeing the little vertebrae beginning to niche his way back together. He was where it was compressed. He was seeing the disc begin to open up. And I'm like, wow, I heard this story. He visualized himself walking out of the hospital. And you know what he did? He walked out of the hospital. That's how powerful the mind is. And this story is, when I first heard this story, I'm like, well, that's Dr. Joe. He's so smart. And then it wasn't until me having my own healing experience I realized that power of healing is within all of us as well. So how do you raise the condition? I'm going to give you 5 simple steps that I use to raise my consciousness and awareness. Number 1, I had to tell a different story. Some of us are still telling the same story from 1975. That story's outplayed. It's played. It's done. You can let it go. It no longer serves you. But why do we keep telling that story? Because it is serving you in some way. That story that you're holding on, you're getting some great sympathy. When people hear you go, oh, you go, yeah, I know, right? Oh my gosh. If I had to hear, ooh, Grandma is right next to me right here. Sorry, Grandma, I got to talk to you. I got to talk about you. My grandma used to talk about her gout. Y'all don't know what gout is, do you? Y'all know what gout is? Some of y'all old enough to know what gout is. And she's talking about, oh, my big toe. And I always used to equate Grandma, Big Mama, we called her, with her gout. Big Mama's gout. We call it Big Mama's gout. Big Mama's gout. We conditioned ourselves to hear that story because we knew Big Mama was going to tell that story. And when Big Mama told the gout story, we would go and do whatever Big Mama needed because she did the cooking and her gout was acted up. So we were in whatever Big Mama wants, we're going to get. We're going to do for Big Mama. So our stories will serve until they no longer serve. I love when we get sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's when we stop telling the story. When we hit bottom, that's when we stop telling the story. How do you know you hit bottom? When you're ready to stop digging. That's the truth, Ruth. When you are ready to stop digging, you have hit bottom. These stories are still digging this hole for us. Number 2, focus on what you want. That's that recognize and shift. What is it that you want? And I'm not talking about material things because we get stuff. We get cars, we get houses, we get Pookie and Nene in our lives. You know, Pookie and Nene, and we get people coming in and out. Focus in on what you want in a spiritual mindset. Wholeness. Who wants to be more whole? I know. I want to recognize my wholeness. I want more prosperity. I want more absolutely unconditional love. I want to be in that space of what it is I really, truly want. So that requires a little bit of a exploration. So you say you want a car, but maybe you want the transportation so you can go out and share the love. Let's go deeper with what we want. Maybe you want the healing in your physical knee. Maybe you want the ability to move with ease and grace so you can come and be of service. We have to get a little bit deeper from that surface to go deep within. Number 3, and this is from Ernest Holmes, and I realize this, deny what is unlike your vision. There's something that we do, and we haven't really talked about this in practitioner training, but we did talk about it in practitioner training. I use this all the time, but we don't really talk about this from the stage. Do y'all know what an argumentative treatment is? When you argue your way back to the truth. And it looks like this. Mother, Father, God, I know I'm experiencing this incredible pain in my back. I know I'm uncomfortable. I feel this. I understand this is happening. But I also know that I'm wanting God. Therefore, everything that is happening right now is for me to remember my wholeness. See, we can speak into the condition, but we go beyond that. Sometimes we got to argue our way back to the truth. Yes? Number 4, create your personal mantra. This is so important. Mantra means tool for the mind. Your mind must know the truth. So the greatest mantra we have is I am. And whatever you put behind I am is your truth. So if you walk around saying, I am tired, universe says, yes, you are. I'm angry. Yes, you are. I am hurt. I'm heartbroken. And let's get a new story. You're not heartbroken. You're just healing. Healing. You could never break that heart. Number 5, surround yourself with your tribe that wants to hold the truth for you. My mother said this. If you hang out with 9 broke people, soon you're going to be the 10th. If you hang out with 9 people that love to talk about what's not right in their life, you're going to join in. If you hang out with 9 people, or even 4 people, or even 2 people, or one other person that's constantly telling you their negative story, you're going to chime in. And then the other thing too is, if they're constantly telling you their negative story, you got to hold space for yourself. That's too much work. I'm sorry. I need to find a tribe that knows how to hold the high watch. I don't want to hear. Listen, this is my work. I will hold consciousness for you. If I'm in a friendship with you, I want to hang out with people like Jamie Lula. I want to hang out with people like Tangerine, who holds that consciousness for you. You got to find your tribe. If you're looking to heal, find people who want to heal.